Hello, hello, hi, hi, folks. Welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your online side business. Welcome, welcome. Man, it is so late. These days it's been really challenging. It's been crazy these past couple of weeks. So I know it's my apologies again that I am going on late. DJ Oh, I see you on Instagram. But yeah, these past couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks, have been insane in the membrane, and so my apologies for going on late. Hey, how am I doing on the lighting and stuff? I'm doing okay, right? Okay, so one of the oldest ways to connect with somebody, Kitsia, I see you on Instagram. Well, one of the oldest ways, if you want to really relate with somebody. Now, I've been in sales for a long time. I've shared these stories before, but the space I work in now, that sales style just does not fly. It just does not go well. So if that aggressive work is just it just doesn't work. Hello, hello. So one of the oldest ways that we used to relate to the client or customer, or just let's just say it, close the customer. I used to teach on this, but now I teach it in a different way. We used to call it, well, we wouldn't used to call it, we still call it feel, felt, found. Now, I don't know if you've heard this before or not. If you have, drop it in the comments. Let me know you've heard this, or maybe you've used it, maybe you haven't. But feel, felt, found is one of the best ways you can connect and relate with somebody. Now, back in the day, I used to teach it in a whole different way. Some of you know my story, but I used to train. I used to be known to be pretty good with like one call closes. That's funny how I say it now. Um, yeah. So I used to teach that, right? I've always said I used to train wolves, right? But now it's a whole different ball game. And the reason why I bring this up is, and I'll explain to you how you can use it now in a positive way. Not that it was in a negative way before, but more sincere way. You know, the reason why I bring this up is I've been talking. I've been making a call to this one, let's call it an institution, okay, for the past 4 days, okay, and I feel like that there's been an error made on their part, okay. I don't want to give all the stuff away because it's just taken my whole like 4 days. Been on hold and calling this person and that person and this person. So 4 days, and I've talked to five different folks, right? Well, two really, not really, to just kind of transfer just briefly, you know. But I've talked to three real solid, like I'm talking over an hour conversation, right? So, and when I was explaining to them how I felt and what was going through my head and how I arrived to where I am, this one lady on Friday, yesterday was Friday, yeah, yesterday, she was such a sweetheart. She goes, you know what? I can totally feel what you're saying, right? And sometimes you hear that, right? Somebody says, I feel you, man. I feel you, bro. Like, bro, I feel you, And you're like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Like, you are so far off. Um, you know, it's not real. Somebody says, I feel you, but do they really? Right? Do they really? So, one of the best ways you can relate to somebody, especially if they're hot and they're like got all these objections, right? One of the best ways, and here's the big difference between today's teaching and back in the day teaching. Today's teaching is all about being sincere and genuine. Back in the day was you got to do what you got to do to get the sale. It's the truth. I'm just being transparent. But today's you got to be sincere, genuine. It's got to be heartfelt. So the three F's are uh, feel, felt, found, right? So that means is when somebody says, "Oh, it's your," you know, and you go, you can say, "Hey, I feel what you're saying. Like I understand. I can relate to what you got to say." Like for example, if somebody came to me and said, "You know what? I've done mortgages and for a long time and this and this," I feel that. Look, I'm right here. I got you. I can understand. I can relate. Right? I can relate to most people because I've had 38 jobs, right, in 10 industries. But I can relate to that person. So I feel what you're saying. Now, because of where you are, the space you are in, the position you are in at that moment, right? It's very crucial. I feel what you're saying. I felt the same way because this is most of the time you're handling an objection, right? Now people freak out over objections. I'm here to tell you objections are your friends. You may not think it, but objections are your friends. I'm here to tell you why. Would you rather somebody tell you, well, I don't know, man. I just don't have the time for this, right? Or would you rather have somebody say, no way on the planet Earth I'm doing this. See ya, and don't ever call me again. See, when you get a hard no, that's a no. Like you got to move on. You can't, you shouldn't spend time there because it's a hard no. You got to move on. It's not the right timing, right? However, when somebody comes up with an objection, they're still in the conversation. And that's the whole ticket here. You got to stick around in the conversation. You got to keep it going. You got to, if you feel what they got, what they said, and you felt the same way, then you got to portray that. You got to let them know how you felt that way. Right. And then the bridge to the end is you've got to show them how you were able to change your mind or your feeling about whatever it is, right? And you say, what I found was somebody says, you know, um, only the people at the top can make the cat. Excuse me. Only the people who come in early, only the people at the top can make the big bucks, right? So feel, felt, found. Um, I feel what you're saying. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. I kind of felt the same way. I always thought, oh, you got to be early. I felt the same way. I felt like if I'm late to the party, then I'm not going to make anything. But what I found was There are people who come in even now and are able to generate income. You see how feel, felt, found, and it's genuine. It's real. You didn't lie about it. It's not like nobody can come in now and make any money, right? So you're saying what you're saying, right? You're saying, hey, look, I feel you. I got you. I probably was in the same way. I was probably worse than you. I was more on the no side than you, right? I feel you. I felt that way. But what I'm finding out is I'm seeing people that are coming in and they're doing it, right? And that can happen in a lot of the different situations, but keep in mind, this is the ticket here. I've always taught this, whether it was in mortgages or whatever industry it was. Desperation doesn't sell. Even the worst customer on the planet Earth, okay, the non-savviest, like the worst, right, can tell you're desperate, and that just doesn't work too well. It doesn't work too well for you because it doesn't feel sincere. It doesn't work well for them, right? So if it's not real, genuine, or sincere, I just recommend you just don't say it. Switch gears to something else that is sincere, and real and genuine, because that's how you connect with people. And if you want to see, I'll leave you with this, and this is probably a whole other life, but when you're handling an objection, the whole point is you're going to handle the objection. It's not like you take the objection and you slap them right back in their face, or how dare you say that, right? You don't do that, right? You're handling the objection. What that means is either you have a solid answer for it or you don't. I mean, it's really that simple, right? If somebody says, "Hey, this thing, I don't know, this thing is $100. Will you do it for $1?" I'll be like, "No." Like, right? So the whole thing is it's got to be sincere, it's got to be real, it's got to be heartfelt, and it's got to be like the truth, right? Don't like mold it and fold it, and no, right? So feel, felt, found. I feel what you're feeling. I felt that way as well, but I found out such and such, right? So hopefully you guys get some love, some inspiration, some value from this. I appreciate you guys. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. Let this feed grow. And I appreciate the Instagram. See ya. So, with that, if you feel like this is worthy of sharing, do what you got to do. Spread the love. Tag a couple people. Don't be shy. And I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your online business. Signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.